Today we're going to create a textured piece of paper so that we can either draw or tear or collage this texture. If you look really closely, this texture looks like wrinkles. And as it dries, here's another one. As it dries, you can see that there are shapes and textures within the paper that you can kind of play around with later to draw into. Like, so that's orange, yellow, and red put together. You can see like here I had an air bubble. The first step of any artwork, if it's going to go on the rack, is to make sure that we can find you later. So right in the center, you want to write your name and zoom in so you can see where I'm writing. Name and class code. So if you're 6A, then you would put 6A. Do not put it around the edge because we might be putting tape on these later and then it'll rip off the name. So we want it right in the center, not too tiny. Don't put it around the perimeter, as I said. It's really hard when we pull things off the rack to find those. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is flip that over. I'm going to back out just a little bit. And we're going to create a really wet surface to be able to let the colors blend together. So we're trying to encourage that blending. So we're going to have to move pretty quickly. So remember, have all your materials. One of the things that you're going to need ready at your table is some plastic wrap so that you can put that on very quickly as soon as you're done putting the paint onto your picture. So I'm going to go ahead and have that ready and make sure it's not sticking to itself or anything else, so that people at my table would be able to pull out what they need. And then I'm going to kind of fold it so that I can pull that very quickly and have that ready at my table. And now what I'm going to do is take my brush. I have a brush. Let me back out just a little so you guys can see that. I have a brush with water. I want one of these softer brushes so that it moves quickly. And I'm not trying to scrub. I'm trying to just lay in as much water as I can so that my paint will run around a little bit. Colors that are beside each other on the color wheel are best for creating mixes of colors that are blending from one to the other. Blue and orange are so far apart that when you put them together, you get a yucky brown. You get kind of a yucky brown this way, and you get a yucky brown this way when you do purple and yellow and green and red. So colors like this would work well together. I would suggest using only about 3 colors, and that will probably keep it to where you can still create a nice strong color that will look good on black paper. I'm going to take the water and I'm going to wet the entire sheet as fast as I can. And then I'm going to take that water and wiggle around on top of my paint. I want to make sure I'm not accidentally running into another color. And I'm going to start getting some of that color on there by just touching it. I'm not pushing it around. The more you push it around, the more it goes down into the grain of the paper. I just want to like lay some paint on there. I'm going to wash off my brush before I go to my next color. And the more I wiggle around, the more paint I pick up. And I'm moving pretty quick. I'm going to just touch that, wash off my brush in between. I don't want to get that darker blue in with that teal color that I'm putting on right now. You can kind of tell it's teal up there. Anywhere it's white, I want to hit it with a little bit of paint so that my pigment will be stronger. Until it's teal up there. Anywhere it's white, I want to hit it with a little bit of paint so that my pigment will be stronger. And then my last step, I want to make sure I move my water container away, is to tear off about that much plastic wrap and give it to whoever else is at your table. And you can see that things are starting to dry pretty quickly. And what I'm going to do is put it on there and then take my fingers and kind of create the wiggles I want to show up. The more texture you want, the more you can kind of crinkle it up. If you want a white section, you can kind of pull up a little bit. And then what I do, I tend to kind of push this edge in so it's not going to catch on other people's projects. And then to take it over to the drying rack, you'll want to pick up the entire underneath sheet with it and very carefully get it on the drying rack. And we'll have another video or some directions telling you how to do that. And then when you're done the next day, you cannot peel this off until the next day or possibly even the day after that. When you're done, you'll get a texture that looks similar to this, similar to that. One of the